So guys, welcome back to another video. And yes, just I'm going to be talking about today pretty much what I've been up to, the things that are going on in the coaching industry, the kinds of crazy things that you see happen in the industry and how you need to stay away from them. And obviously this is a very unplanned video. I just have like a couple of points on my screen over here, but it's pretty much sort of a video where I want to talk to you guys, right? And just speak things that are in my mind. And I'm gonna try to probably keep the videos more something like this from now onwards. So, yeah, guys, let's just dive into it. All right. So, guys, firstly, a couple of things that I'm actually working on at the moment is we're pivoting the coaching business. So if you don't know, we run a coaching business for the past 18 months and we mainly focused on the beginner market. So people who are more newer to drop shipping and they don't have any experience and they were trying to get their first 10K a month, 20K a month, things like that, right? And yes, like a couple of stores that we did work with, they did scale to like 80K, 100K, 180K beyond, right, per month. And what I really realized was most of the people in the beginner market, they really ask you the same questions again and again. Yes, it makes you money. It makes it's crazy, like the amount of results that I can get them. But at the end of the day, I'm also thinking in terms of what really impacts the business and what amount of impact I can create in the market, not just number of people, but the quality of impact I can create, right? Like it's very different to get someone out of poverty and it's very different to take someone from, let's say, a second world country to a first world country and help their kid get into private tuition and things like that, private education and things like that, right? So it's a very different story when you're talking about that. And that's primarily how I'm trying to think about business, honestly, and how I'm trying to think about client experiences and the changes I could help them with to make in their personal life, right? Beyond just first 20K month, first 10K month. It's like, how can I take them to a better state of living beyond e-commerce, right? So that's primarily what I've been thinking about and what I've been working towards, right? Not just help people who haven't even started their store, but more so help people who have, let's say, started their store and they tried a bunch of marketing things in the market and they haven't really understood how to acquire customers profitably, right? Let's say they're running ads, but their ROAS is below one or their ROAS is below break even. They're losing money while running their stores, right? And that brings me actually to another story, right? So a couple of weeks ago, actually, this actually happened. I shot a video about it. Didn't want to post it because it came off a bit rude, but I'll pretty much post it really soon, right? So what actually happened was a client actually reached out to us and he DM'd me. So this client, funny enough, he responded to an ad like last year in the month of May or June somewhere, and he was literally at the airport, right? So what ended up happening was he DM'd me initially and he was like, "Hey, let's get on a call." I was like, "Cool. Let's discuss if we can help you, and if we can, here's the link. Book in a call." So whatever. Long story short, he did book in a call, and he came up to the call while he was at the airport, literally boarding gate, right? And while he was there, we were on the call and literally we the team and I, we took him through everything. We discussed everything with him. It was like 20-30 minutes. We discussed everything. And finally, when it came to the price, he was like, "It's too much, right? Couldn't handle it." And I was like, "Okay, cool. No worries. Let's part ways, right?" And funny enough, like we had a similar situation happen next month, right? Where another client came on, and forgetting his name, but he came on and he was another client in another niche completely, and he was also an e-com client and he wanted to the same thing. He wanted to scale his business, right? But he was like literally strapped for funds. He had loans to his name, right? And he still took the leap of faith. He literally paid us full for the coaching and he jumped in, right? Couple of months later, he literally scaled the store to like 6 figures, and he's currently retired. He's currently traveling with his family, his wife, his kids, all around the globe, right? While he's still running his e-com store, he's got a couple of team members to manage fulfillment, customer support, admin, all the shabam, right? All the ads and things like that, UGC. So the point I'm trying to make is like we had an offer for one client and then he never took it. And then another client came on, worked with us, whatever, got him good results, whatever. But the point is, this first client, he comes back to us like literally 2 weeks ago. And he DMs us again, right? He DMs us and he's like, hey, can you guys help me? We're like, cool. Obviously, since the last conversation, on a quarterly basis, we actually increase the prices of coaching, right? Depending on the market results that we get, and results keep improving and increasing because we get more experience as we work with more clients, right? So obviously the price is higher than the last time we spoke to him, and we tell him, hey, this is the price, and again he's like, I can't afford it, right? I can't do that, right? And then I tell him, I'm like, that's the exact reason why you're in the same position as last year, right? And then obviously he doesn't know what to reply, right? And it's I'm not being rude, but that's just the honest truth, guys. Like, think about it. If you have been on the fence thinking about e-com for the longest of time, like I have clients coming on call sometimes, they've been thinking about e-com since 2019, back when the CPMs of advertising were like super affordable. Anybody could launch an ad and make sales tomorrow, right? Not even tomorrow, like in the next 30 minutes you could make sales, right? And it's a very big difference when you compare the landscape back then, from 2019 to now. And currently, it's gotten way more tricky to launch a profitable product at scale and actually scale it to those good numbers, 100K, 200K a month, whatever, right? And that's the difference. So there are people who come to our calls and they literally say they've been thinking of launching a store for like 5 years, 6 years, 8 years, I don't know what. Like, they've been just working their job, or they've been working in a different business, but they've always looked at e-com as some crazy thing that's so complicated to start. Obviously, if you're a beginner, if you've never done it before, it is complicated, right? But with the right support and help and guidance, you can very quickly get a really profitable product. You can launch it in the right market when nobody else is selling it, and almost within a month or 2 months, you're at 100K a month, right? And nobody really talks about this in the industry because here's the issue, right? Like, why will a agency, right, especially when you're working with an agency, you start your e-com store and you go to an agency and you tell them, hey, here's $1,000 a month, whatever, let's get sales, right? Now, here's the issue, right? It's the same with hiring. The same issue you face with delegating your work to an agency, delegating your ads to an agency or whatever. You don't know how to market your own store. So what ends up happening is you hire the wrong agency because you don't know how to hire the right agency. You don't know how to check for the right results that an agency has and the right concepts that are needed for an agency to succeed, right? And the right ads that need to be run in order for the agency to succeed, right? And I'm talking about you, right? So you, the viewer, you, the store owner, don't know that. If your friend or your family or someone around you is trying to help you run that store or something like that, it's obviously never going to work, right? Even if they try to help you find the right agency or they try to help you probably run your ads, and obviously it's not going to work because you don't know what's going wrong. And if you don't know what's going wrong, you don't know what to fix. If you don't know what to fix, how the heck is your business ever going to succeed? Simple math, right? So that's the real issue that I've seen with most people under 20K a month, where even if they start their store, if they somehow launch their store, they somehow launch their ads, they somehow figure out how to use the ads manager, right? You're obviously either going to screw up in the marketing, so you don't know what platforms to advertise on, even if you advertise on the right platforms, you're advertising the wrong product, right? So again, you're not going to get sales. Even if you figure out product and market and offer, you're screwing up in the retention because of how expensive advertising has gotten over the past couple of years. If you don't have a retention mechanism, obviously people are never going to repurchase your products, right? And again, because of that, you're going to lose, you're going to fail in the market, right? Like our clients, like they have 40-50% repeat customers, right? So anytime a customer buys from them, they keep buying from them for the next 6 to 12 months, right? On average, right? So when you think about it that way, it's like all the odds in the market are set up against you, right? Because you don't have the right information and the right systems in order for you to go from 20K a month or 10K a month, whatever, all the way to 100K a month, 150K a month, right? And that's pretty much the difference, right? So think about it. Like every time you work in an agency, and we shut down our agency, guys. Like we don't even run an agency anymore because that's the major problem we had seen with agencies, right? When an agency works with you, you give them all the responsibility to get all 1 million sales for your store, right? And if they shy you, like if they get you 99 sales out of 100 and they don't get you 100 sales, you're going to be angry. You're not going to be happy because obviously they've thrown some crazy guarantee on top of you, and you obviously believe it. And understand this, guys, like there's 1 million moving parts in a e-com store, right? From fulfillment to ads to UGC to literally content, organic, the posting, the kinds of content you use, the kinds of people that you have in your UGC as well. If they don't represent your ICP and your ideal customers, why are they going to buy, right? Like if you're selling a product that's going to help people lose weight, right? And in your ad, there are already people who have lost weight, then how do people experience the pain big enough for them to end up purchasing your product? There is no gap for them to purchase your product, right? So you also need to have the right characters and the right people in your content in order for people to experience a pain which is big enough for them to purchase your product, right? And if you have the wrong people in your content, why are people going to purchase your product? There's no reason for them to purchase your product, right? So these are things, again, you need to think about. The other thing is, obviously, if you're selling the same product as everyone else in the market, then why are people supposed to buy your product? You tell me 3 reasons why are people supposed to buy your product. There's no reason. There's nothing that you can think of. And you may tell me, okay, I'll just reduce my price. Cool. How much are you going to reduce your price? Like you reduce your price today, your competition's gonna reduce their price 2 days later, and within 2 weeks everyone's gone to below the cost margin and everyone's losing money in the market, right? So these are things, again, you need to think about and you need to consider when you're launching your store and you're scaling your products, right? Your ads, again, if you don't have the right content in your ads, if you don't have the right visuals and the effects and the ad copy that's going to convert people and bring them over the fence, why are people going to even convert on your ads? You may pay $1,000 on ads, you may pay 10K on ad budget, and let's say tomorrow you realize you're advertising itself on the wrong platform, right? If you're advertising, let's say, a product that was meant for 40 plus individuals on TikTok, you're obviously going to fail, right? Because majority of TikTok is people below 30. So these are, again, things you need to think about. If you have the wrong customer avatar selling the wrong product in the wrong market at the wrong time of the year, because a lot of products in the market are seasonal products, right? Now you may think, okay, if I don't want to deal with seasonality, I'll sell a product that's selling 24/7. But guess what? That's already a saturated product. That's already a product that millions of suppliers in your country or your niche are already selling while people purchase from you, right? So again, these are things, guys, you need to think about and you need to realize this is the reason why people, let's say, go to a football coach, right? Why do people sign up to a football coach? Because they understand that if they want to prepare to get into FIFA, or let's say someone wants to get into NBA and they want to become a great basketball player, they have understood that the only way to shortcut themselves to get there with predictability is to get a coach, right? So these are things that you realize after being in the industry for so long, right? Especially when you want it hard enough and you really want to get to that next level, is when you decide to actually get a coach, right? Many people, they're not really ambitious enough, they don't really want it hard enough that they're willing to invest. And cool, you're going to be the 99%, like that's completely fine, right? If you want to stay at the place where you are, you don't want to live a life of your dreams, you don't want to travel, you don't want to have fun with your family, things like that, cool, like don't invest, right? Like genuinely, even stop watching this video, it's not for you, right? But if you really want to consider yourself as a pro player, you want to really move the ranks up in ecom, and you want to do so with the right guidance, then obviously go ahead below this video, book a call, right? I'm going to try to help you. But again, if you're not ready to take that step and you're not ready to really get to the next level, and you keep consuming information, like I've had clients come on calls, they've consumed information for like 4 years and they're telling me, Carl, I'm sick and tired of following a million hours of content on the internet and I just want to get results, and I just want to figure out how do I finally get customers profitably, and how do I finally find the right people who want my product, right? Let's say you're even taking care of manufacturing, right? And you're taking care of production of your product. Let's say it's a skincare product, right? You're building world-class skincare products, but if you don't know how to market it the right way, no one's ever gonna buy, right? And another client story just came to my mind, right? Another client, actually, he reached out a couple of months ago, met him through a networking event, and he's been following me for like I think almost a year on Instagram, right? And he literally like slides in my DMs. He's like, hey, I have a friend and she has a huge influencer following on Instagram, like 400k, 500k followers, and we're pretty close and things. And I'd like to launch a brand with her. I was like, cool. And he tells me that she has the distribution, so let's just partner up and launch a product together. Like you take care of everything other than distribution, other than media distribution. So she has obviously the organic reach, and he just literally told me, he's like, you take care of everything else and let's partner up, right? And get this, guys, like that's the exact issue that he was facing, right? He thinks that marketing and the advertising or the organic content is the only thing that you need in order to see success in ecom. Hell no, right? I can tell you a million stories of why influencers in this industry who are having millions of subscribers and followers don't make a ton of money. In fact, like I think a couple of years ago, one of the top 3 YouTubers or something launched an ecom store, and he didn't get 3 sales out of 5 million subs or something, right? I'm not remembering his name, but he literally launched it, and for a week he got only 3 sales, like $20 sales, $60 in a week from 5 million subscribers. So it's not subscribers that you need, it's not followers that you need, it's the right attention from the right people selling the right product in the right market at the right price with the right retention strategies. After you get all this right is when you actually see success with your e-com store, right? And again, these are things that other coaches and people without a lot of expertise don't really realize, and they won't really tell you in the industry, right? Because hell no, like people are just flexing their Lambos on Instagram, they're flexing their Palm Jumeirah lifestyle on Instagram, and they're selling you some kind of agency thing, or they're selling you courses. And that's the reason why, we don't sell a course. Like we know that courses don't work, and every time someone DMs me like, what's the price of your course, or can I buy your course, I tell them, hey, like we don't even sell like a course, right? So that's the thing, we literally give you the infrastructure which makes it impossible for you to lose and for you to not win, right? It makes it impossible for that to happen, right? So yeah, guys, these are things that I literally had on the back of my mind, and I'm seeing all these people on Instagram flex their Lambos, flex whatever they have, and it's just hilarious because the best marketers in the world actually make the most amount of money while even not having the skill to make the people who join their programs rich, right? So that's actually it's pretty counterintuitive. If you look at the best and the biggest companies who are selling products like physical products in the world, their products aren't even that effective, right? I'm talking like all the way from shouldn't be taking in industry names, but like F&B, pharma, and like all these super big industries, finance even, right? Forex brokers, like the guys who advertise and market the most, the guys who have a lot of VC funding, the guys who are literally in the biggest SaaS spaces and they sell the biggest, most crazy marketed SaaS products, their products are not even as effective as they claim they are. But obviously, they got a stamp on the approval for making those claims, right? That's a different story. But these are things you need to think about, right? And when a coach actually has course or a coach creator or whatever, these people have super big followings with millions of subscribers, and they have like some crazy shebang thing that they show you a trailer of their life. Guys, that's not like a reality, right? You need to think about it. Like people obviously hit the gym, they might meditate for like 30-40 minutes, but that's it, they get back to work, right? Like I work 12 hours a day, 15 hours a day on literally helping clients get results in the DMs, messaging them, helping them with the systems, getting my team members to chat with them, get on calls, all that, right? And that's the real work, right? So obviously going on vacations and things, that's obviously the bonus, that's the benefit of having this kind of life. But you need to think about who you want to trust. You want to think about the kind of coach you want to work with, and is that person someone you can trust and you can work with long term, right? And at the end of the day, it's like there are clients who have come to us, they've literally taken out loans from friends, family, or even the bank, and they join our programs, right? And then they see success, and then they tell their friends about it. And then we get like 50% of our clients coming in just from referrals, right? And for the majority of my life as well, like prior when I was running an agency as well, almost 60 to 80% of clients were just referral based, right? We didn't even really run ads and things back in the day, right? We literally ran on referrals. So I was initially like a media buyer for a agency for like the first 2 years of my career, and then later on transitioned into making a switch into an agency, and then continued running an agency. And the biggest flaw with the agency I saw was the same thing, right? An agency is designed in a way where you literally structure it so that any client will say yes, right? You give a crazy guarantee or something like that, and then the client says yes, and then they come on board. And then you realize that even if you have done 99% of the things right and you screw up 1%, they're obviously going to look at that and not the 99% of things you've done right, and they're going to leave maybe 2 months, maybe 3 months, maybe 6 months down the line, right? Whereas with coaching, it's like we realize that each client has different strengths and weaknesses, which is why we allow them to scale their strengths on the store. Let's say it's a previous business owner, he knows numbers, he knows how to scale linearly and exponentially, right? Especially with e-com, you can scale exponentially. So he knows how to already scale linearly from his other businesses, and we just help him to scale exponentially. We give him the right systems, we tell him these are the right strategies you can use exactly at these points to scale, right? These are the right products you can use to scale in this market. You need to advertise and market these products in this way in order for it to scale disproportionately, right? Or else, like, how do you think someone goes from making $200 a day in revenue all the way to 3K a day in revenue, right? There's no other way. You have to scale it exponentially. You have to take risks. You have to scale your ad spend proportionate to the return that you want to see, right? And obviously, you have to be profitable with a profitable ROAS. You can't just do it wherein you're spending 3K a day and you're getting $500 back in revenue, right? You cannot do that. So you need to have the right creatives as well. If you don't have the right ad creatives, as you scale, things will start breaking. Your attribution will break, your tracking will break, your ROAS will drop, your CPC is going to go high, your CPMs are going to go high. So these are things you need to realize when you're starting and scaling your store, right? So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for the video, and hope you guys got value from this. Hope you guys understood a few things that are happening in the industry, right? And I'll see you guys around.